lot of things you don't think they do the thing.
Yes, he is very good man. He bless you. He is a good man.
A lot of things you don't think they do the thing.
The IPOB leader himself, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You can see on this background of this video, you can see what is happening again, and why this thing is going to trigger a lot of unrest and protest, across Africa and across the world. Especially from the eastern part of the country, where he came from. People are questioning the reason why they should actually continue with this trial, and why the eastern governors are keeping quiet. The political leaders in the eastern part of the country are keeping quiet. Benjamin Kanu, the deputy speaker, Odzo Kanu, Omahi, and the rest of so many of them are keeping quiet. The only person that is showing sincerity of purpose is the guy from Ikwana constituency. I'm forgetting his name. You understand? I must give it to that man. For being consistent to the issue that has to do with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, just coming and facing trial. We don't know the kind of trial we can call this actually, whether this thing has become an embarrassment to Nigerian judiciary. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu seems like someone who is, determined, like always before now, highly focused, he's not compromising, he's not having any reservation over anything. He's highly focused. We want to know who are they, who is confronting them. But so far so good. From what our findings and cross-examination by the defense team of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, there's nothing incriminating yet that has been found. But I think that the government is trying to, pick one or two things at the end of the day, compromise the process, which people are saying currently now that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to go through trial. If he's going to go through trial, then the first thing they should do is to return him to Kenya. And we can see that immediately. So a lot of things are being played out here. We are seeing everything about international community, allies of Nigeria connecting to Kenya. We saw Alexander Stubb of Finland, coming to Kenya. A few days after he came to Kenya, went by, there was this spread of incitement charges against Simon Ekpa. So, and the same country, Kenya, is where these atrocities of kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu actually happen. So it's going to send a lot of signal into people are asking now, what is actually the purpose of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, instigating trial against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Is he preparing him for a possible jail? And what is also going to come out with at the end of the day? I would thought by now this thing could have been fast-tracked at the end of the day. People go they are separated and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is set free. Because the sympathy is growing. There is this reservation everywhere. And there's this thing of unity that is also breathing underground. Yes, because the South themselves and the Igbo people now, so let me just put it very well, seem to be coming together now. There's this synergy, there's this chemistry that's not yet there before. We saw what Tombolo and Igbo business people were able to do at that time, and coming together. So Mazi Kanu's trial is uniting the Biafran people, let me put it that way, and also preparing for all important day, which is May 30, the day Biafra was declared as a nation. So we are saying it, that day there's going to be a sit at home. Yes, let people sit at home, whether it's voluntarily or otherwise, we don't want to know, but let it be marked as a day that we honor those 6 million lives that was lost on during the Nigeria-Biafra war. That takes us back to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. As you continue to see him, the video is everywhere. And people are watching the court development and are saying, how people are waiting to see how they are going to navigate this thing to either the victory for the federal government or victory for the IPOB leader.
When you talk about victory for IPOB or victory for federal government, what do you think federal government is going to gain from jailing or sentencing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because I even see that it is a win-win for federal government if they want to be honest for themselves, that they passed through a particular justice and they were able to, settle it, whether this way or that way. So I don't see that jailing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu we give federal government any kudos or any credit, apart from people that are waiting for him to be jailed, like Fulani.
Of course, that is the struggle we are into, because the Fulanis have already started calling that the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will become a threat to the northern part of the country. And with releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, there will be nothing like Fulani again. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu, the Hausa consciousness will be reawakened again. Releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a lot of things will happen. Nigeria can break up. It's going to get global attention. It's going to bring this. A lot of nations will want to factor in. It might lead to deals, that might forcefully break Nigeria. It can get the Russian attention. Releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can bring Putin to Nigeria. That's a fact, because you can see what China and Russia are trying to do now in Africa to make sure that the UK and the American influence, is totally dismantled. And the Africans are buying into it because they didn't benefit anything from them. And that is the fact. The Nigerian oil and gas resources that is deposited in the eastern part of the country is being used as a service in the north, to service the northern part of the country alone. And then at that service now, they use whatever they make to sponsor their political stooge in the southern part of the country. So they see the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a threat, and that it will even be better for the federal government to keep him there under whatever disguise, which Buhari practiced for 8 years and left. Now we are seeing it again. So the question is that why the trial in the first place? We didn't see Sunday go through trial. We didn't see Sowore go to trial. We didn't see all these people go to trial. Then why the trial in the first place? And that's what is instigating, the rumor, the reservation, that might be another motive of it, which people are going to resist. And that it is better Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remain where he is than to bring him out. That bringing him out, is going to bring a lot of, interest on the Biafran quest. And of course, the Fulanis are not yet ready, because they have not conquered the eastern part of the country politically, militarily, or whatever way they feel they will get to there. It will mean they have entirely conquered. What they are busy is planting governors, building mosques, destroying farmers, sending people to disaliving people, causing hunger, to making people to run to governors, as a result of destroying their farms. So those are the areas they are looking at, and that is why they want the delay. But if Parliament will feel otherwise, there should have been a speedy trial to this persecution. I would not even, this is persecution, injustice to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Then we'll begin to know, count it one after another, the purpose and how these things are going. But by bringing good witnesses in the court, people who are covering their face, from different quarters. We don't know who they are. We don't know whether it's Abba Kyari. We don't know who they are. We don't know whether these are Tunji Bello in disguise. We don't know who these people are. They still allow such thing within the space. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not wearing any mask, and there's nobody, even the outsiders themselves, the politicians, the West, the Yoruba nation, the south eastern part of the country knows that what Nnamdi Kanu was talking about is a reality. So that's what we're saying. Can the federal government know that, okay, even if they mean that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to go through at least to prove to the world, that they still respect some level of human rights and all that. For me, it does not make sense, But we are watching, because it will get to a point that everybody is calling now. Mbaka is calling. International EU nations are getting interested. Everybody is buying into different organizations, or civil society organizations, are looking at this trial as victimization. So there's this growing campaign to see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu released globally, and this is what the Ghanaian chief judge and the Cameroon chief judge that visited Aso Rock recently was saying, that this thing has put Biafra at the global map. And another thing we saw recently, where they were busy using posters of all manners or to paste another. But Nnamdi Kanu is not bothered. You can see him in the court. He appeared in the court today, and say taking directions and telling Asuro that it is time for whatever, that he is prepared to do whatever, he is prepared to face whatever, and that he is prepared and that he will not compromise. That the message is getting there. And you can see his defense team now, well prepared and ready to do the battle, final battle that will listen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But from what we are getting gradually, it looks like James Omotosho, I want to say, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, today you are released, you are free from this injustice.
So shall it be. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's a wonderful edition of Politics on the Street today. Today, it's no news that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is set to commission the first Biafra Washington Embassy. Some persons are of the view that what has Dr. Ngozi Orabueze done to the history and to the struggle. Now she's bringing what she has done, that Donald Trump is set to commission this embassy. And then we've seen some persons come out to say that that embassy is just a jamboree. Such thing will never come into reality. Such thing will never come into existence. But the truth of the matter is that these people, are they not tired of the Fulani killings in Nigeria? Are they not tired? Just of recent, some days ago, the Fulani invaded Plateau State and killed over 16 people. Plateau State is now a crime zone whereby the Fulani can easily perpetrate their acts. And now nobody, even the government, is not coming out to condemn this killing. We don't know if the government, indirectly or directly, they are the ones sponsoring this killing. And now we've seen someone who has taken over this freedom, this agitator, all to ourselves to make it a reality. And yet, some persons are still coming out to condemn this woman, saying that this woman cannot lead the Biafra struggle. Then tell me, who is then fit to lead the struggle? Now that Mazi Samonepa has been given some restrictions of social media, and now we've seen someone who has come out of our own free will to lead this struggle. And some Igbo leaders are saying that will not become a reality. What does the Ohaneze Indigo really want? What does the Igbo's elders who have been bribed by this government, what do they really want? They want everybody in the entire race to be wiped out so that nobody can come out and speak about the illegal mines in the southeast, where we've seen some identified persons being killed on a daily basis. And now nobody is coming out to condemn the killing. And yet Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is making moves. And yet we've seen leaders, the Igbo leaders, coming out to condemn that move. The truth of the matter is, the enemy of a man is within his household. And we've seen that those who are against the Biafra struggles are not even outsiders. They are mostly people, even from the Igbo race. When Dr. Ngozi Orabueze announced that they are set to commission the Washington D.C. Biafran embassy, and that it will be done by the U.S. President Donald J. Trump. We've seen Jack Ojukwu tweets saying it is a lie from the pit of hell. Why don't you wait until that becomes a reality? Why can't you wait until it becomes a reality. The same people that was being used to kidnap Mazi and Kanu all the way from Kenya, the same people that was being used to orchestrate the illegal arrest of Mazi Samunepa. And now we've seen a woman championing this case, this cause for referendum. And those who were supposed to champion this cause for referendum have even sold out in the freedom. They've sold out. What is it? Indigo have sold out. Southeastern governors have sold out, despite the killings in their domain, despite what is happening in their domain. Nobody is coming out to confront the government and tell them enough is enough. What we have today is people who are only after their own tummy, their own stomach. Is this how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stood for the Biafra cause? Mazi Kanu stood for it with his life, despite the pains that man is going through today. The man has not renounced the struggle for Biafra. The man has not renounced the struggle for the agitation. But yet, we have some elders who claim they are evil elders. They are neither there or there. All what they do is today, Biafra in the morning, and then they would agitate for Biafra in the morning, and at night they are having meetings with those in the presidency just to scuttle the struggle. I am saying it here that nobody born of human can scuttle the struggle, because already the Biafra struggle is an ideology that can never be wiped out. It's an ideology starting from the days of Odumegu Ojukwu until date. It is still waxing stronger. Or those people who are saying Biafra is dead, who are saying Biafra is dead, are they not tired of the slavery? Are they not tired of the Fulani crimes? Benue State has now become a death trap for people. Plateau State now, so many atrocities that these Fulani people have committed, and the evil leaders cannot come out and express their own grievances to it, cannot come out and condemn all this. Rather, we've seen them taking sides just because they want to become slaves to the Fulani, just because they want to become errand boys to the Fulani. But the question is, how long can we continue in this shenanigan? How long can we continue in this shenanigan? To me, it is a shenanigan. It is a shenanigan, in the sense that you cannot continue to live in a country where we have murderers. We cannot continue to live in a country where there is no rule of law. The Fulani that has killed a lot of people till now has not been brought to book. The Fulanis have not been brought to book. Rather, they're by, and government is not even making plans that this whole killing thing would end soon. No plans from the government. No plans from the government that this whole killing would end anytime soon. And now we've seen Igbo leaders also not coming out to air their displeasure. Rather, they are indirectly supporting the government to buy. Are we going to sit down and watch until everyone is being butchered in the southeast? This is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu predicted. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu predicted all of this, and now it is happening. It is happening that the Fulani is bent to Islamize Nigeria, and today is it not happening? It is happening. We've seen it. And the Fulanis want to Islamize Nigeria, and they think people will sit down and not speak out, just like the Igbo leaders have sat down and they are not saying anything to it. It is really a show of shame. It is a show of shame. If at this stage the government and the Igbo leaders cannot come out and speak up against the injustice of the one Nigeria. And kudos to Dr. Ngozi Oyagbeze for launching this Biafran embassy. Kudos to you, ma. Thank you for watching this podcast.